Hey guys, Other Steve here, and guess what is hot off the presses? We've got Cannibal Pygmies and the Jungle of Doom Director's Cut. I want to open this guy up and show you what's inside of it, and what's this? Oh, we also have a new Cast and Crew expansion too. We'll get to that later as well, in a different video. But this is where we are. This is where we were. Here's the original game, here's the Director's Cut. This is my own personal copy that has been overly loved over the years, and now I get to enjoy it with the brand new rules. And on the very, very front, we have the Antiquities Poacher. If you remember her from the original game, she looked a little bit different, but now she's had an update. And there's the Golden Idol in the background with the Cannibal Pygmies in the back over there. And this is, so far, the chunkiest box we've had with one of these things. If you take a look at the original Grave Robbers from Outer Space Director's Cut, it's the same dimensions on top, but this one's a lot taller because there's some extra stuff in there. So here's the front. We have Vine Swinging Action, Experience Thrills, Jungle Hijinks, more Experience Thrills. And on the bottom, we have all of the important stuff about the Grave Robbers game and stuff like that as well as the website. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got on the inside. Put this down over here for now. The very first thing you will notice when you open it up is that there is a rule book. That's why we had to expand the box, because we didn't have a rule book. We only had a digital copy inside the original. There was a rule book also inside Bleeding in the New Year, but the rule book that's inside Bleeding in the New Year uses the older episode-based rules. This is the rule book that has the full-fledged feature film rules, which is basically you shuffle up 3 feature packs and you play. And it has everything you need right in here. Goes over everything. So that's there. Put that over there. Next, we have the little art card that comes with it. And look at all of these cards that come out. Let me actually put this together. Oops, everything's going everywhere. You think I didn't rehearse this? So here we go. The very, very first card that you guys see is the art card. This is kind of like the intro card to the game. Has a QR code. You scan that, it brings you right to the website, and it's just a rehash of the box art. But it is on a standard card back. You can use this as like a token card or wherever else if you need to. Or give it to your friends so they can check out the rules. After that, we have the Feature Packs card. And like the original Grave Robbers from Outer Space Director's Cut, we have 10 separate feature packs in this edition. We have The Quest for the Holy Beep, Tomb Raiders of the Lost Ark, King Solomon's Safari, The Woes of El Dorado, Swiss Family Tarzan, The Naked Bungle, Inca's Incognito, Alien Predator, The Most Dangerous Board Game, and White Bread Zombie. You can probably guess which movies and combinations of movies we're riffing on with a whole bunch of these. So I'm going to put that guy over there to keep track of where we're going with everything else. So, let's check it out. The first feature pack is The Quest for the Holy Beep. Like all feature packs in Grave Robbers from Outer Space, they're made up of 16 separate cards. Generally speaking, you'll have 3 characters, you'll have 3 creatures, you'll have 2 locations, you'll have 2 props, you'll have 3 special effects, 2 plot twists, and of course a roll the credits. And in our first feature pack, we've got the Scrappy Kid, So-and-so Senior, who basically becomes an older version of other folk in the game, the Bush Pilot. And then we have the following 3 creatures. We have the titular Cannibal Pygmies in the Jungle of Doom, returning once again from the original game, 12,000 Angry Rats, which is technically a reprint, and Evil Minions. After that, we've got our locations, Base Camp and the Ancient Proving Grounds. Then we've got the Rickety Biplane and the Holy Grail, which is really powerful because it allows you to resurrect characters. Then we have our 3 special effects, Power Corrupts, Aging Potion, and Human Sacrifice. And our 2 plot twists. And X marks the spot, and they were the good guys all along. And then we have this beautiful Petra-inspired Roll the Credits card. Well, the crumbling monastery was reclaimed by the desert, so I guess it's over. And that is, of course, our first feature pack right over there. Which brings us to our second feature pack, Tomb Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, this feature pack is different in that, of course, it has our Antiquities Poacher. Once again, take a look at her. She looks a little bit different than in the original card game. And you'll also notice that on the box art, she doesn't have the dingus yet, but in the card she does. And that's because of her special power. Her whole idea is grabbing artifacts. So in this feature pack, there are only two characters, but there are extra props because they're treasure props. Her whole thing is you on your turn you grab artifacts from different places. So you grab props from different places and stick them into your hand or into play. So we have the Antiquities Poacher and we have the Camel. It's kind of like a prop mule. Then of course, I mean, when you have something like this, when you're dealing with this particular theme, you have to have some Nazis. Why did it have to be snakes and a rival archaeologist? It belongs in a museum. So do you. Next, we have our locations. The Ancient Temple, where you can basically tip to go spelunking and grab a treasure, and the Museum, which gives bonuses to treasures. Then we have our three props. We have the Ark of the Covenant, which gives you bonuses to attack, the Golden Idol, which of course it shows up on the box art as well, and we have the Hat, which makes a character lucky. Then we have our three special effects. Sandstorm, which destroys cards, Digging in the Wrong Place, which allows you to grab props from other movies, and Tickets Please, which is basically like a tax on other players. And then we have our final three cards of the feature pack, and They Survive the Wrath of God, which is a fun board wipe, and She Talks in Her Sleep, followed by our roll the credits of the large, warehouse. Well, they put their top people on it and made the relic disappear, so I guess it's over. And that's number 2, Tomb Raiders of the Lost Ark, which brings us to our third feature pack. King Solomon's Safari, with the Great White Hunter, who cannot be killed by native monsters, but he can also be used to mess around with natives. And then we have a whole bunch of natives. We have the Native Guide and the Native Porter, and they get bonuses for additional natives in their group, so the more natives the merrier. Then we have our three creatures, which is Hired Assassins, Crocodiles, and Safari Stampede. Then we have a Third World Diamond Mine, which is an underground treasure location, which has a huge boost, and Up a Tree, which allows you to basically retreat, stop attacks, stuff like that. Then we have our two props. We have the Elephant Gun and the Big Canvas Tent. And we have our special effects, Swarm, Motherlode, and River Crossing. So Motherlode's a lot of fun. It's sort of like a cult classic, but you got to put one back. And then we have our final three cards. We have And They Resolved It with a Dance-Off, and He Was the King All Along, which allows you to play a fun bluffing game, as well as grab one of your native characters and make him king. And then they roll the credits. So they survived the deepest, darkest part of Africa. So I guess it's over. Which brings us to our next one. We have Feature Pack 4, The Woes of El Dorado. So we're dealing with South America here. We have an unscrupulous merchant. Oh, the Onyx Amulet of Cusco. Yes, I can get one for you if you don't mind if it's slightly used. We have the missionary. Keep her face in mind. She shows up later in the Cast and Crew expansion. And of course, we have the Conquistador, who gives bonuses to all natives as well as plays a special effect to stop native attacks. Because, Conquistador. Then we have Piranha, Vampire Bats, and Giant Ants. Then we have our locations. The Fountain of Youth, which is fun because it messes with young and old characters. And we have the Lost City, which gives native characters bonuses. Followed by the map and a stupid amount of gold. This one is one of those funny things where you can place it on a character and you can have a huge bonus, but they can be really messed up if you're not quick about it. And the map prevents people from messing with your location. So having both of these together is a really good synergy. Next we have our special effects. We have Sacred Ground, the City of Gold, and Booby Traps, where our titular character shows up again. And then we have our final three cards. And they really were a god. Bill Murray would be proud. And it was Lost to the Mists of Time, which is basically like a Brigadoon gambit. And of course we have the roll the credits. Well, they made off with an awful lot of gold, so I guess it's over. And that was The Woes of El Dorado. Which brings us to our next one. What do we got? Swiss Family Tarzan. And this one's fun because it's made up of mostly characters from the original game. So we have Jungle Man, Jungle Queen, and Skippy the Jungle Dog, because of course, it's the family, right? You got the husband, the wife, and the dog. And of course, we have to have a Skippy in every set. It's practically the law when it comes to grave robbers. Skippy meta decks are an inevitability in the future, so you got to have fun with that. Then we have our creatures. We have the Jungle Cat, which is one of my favorites because if you have the Jungle Man or the Jungle Queen, you can play this as a character. You have dinosaurs, and you have Amazon warriors. Our locations are the secluded lagoon and the ridiculously elaborate treehouse. The items that we have, the props, are the spear and the hunting bow, and they have defense bonuses if they're played on a native, so that works not just with native characters, but also with native psycho creatures. Gives them a huge bonus. And then we have some really funky special effects. I love the ones here. Of course, there's Gone Native, which is double the strength of an attack, give it the trait Native. But then we have these two, which are really fun. Swing to Safety, watch out for that tree, where you knock out a character to stop an attack made against your movie. It kind of is like, what's on the tin. But then we have Leopard Skin Bikinis, which is basically you play it in your movie after roll the credits, and you get huge bonuses for every female character. Because it's the finale, the final act of the movie. And of course, from that era, you know what they did. And the plot twists are Dr. Livingstone, I presume, and they got busy. So you can make a kid, or you can also bring a character who's died back as old. And then, of course, this beautiful roll the credits. And they swung off into the sunset, so I guess it's over. So that's halfway through. What's in the last half? Next, we have The Naked Bungle, Feature Pack 6. The Self-Made Man, The Mail Order Bride, and The Obstructionist Bureaucrat. You can probably guess which movies we're riffing on with these guys here. He's cool because every time he successfully uses popcorn that he generates on certain cards, he gets extra defense. She can be played for free if a male character's been played, and he just messes with people because he's an obstructionist bureaucrat. Our creatures here are Marabunta, the army ants, 40 square miles of painful death, the rival plantation owner, and the menacing natives. You better watch your back, senor. The props we've got are, we have a cursed prop, the Shrunken Head, which gives other players a ding, and we have the native bug spray, which helps against swarm attacks and can stop swarm attacks as well. We have the Cocoa Plantation and the Jungle River. The Cocoa Plantation is awesome because it basically makes all of your characters be able to be tipped for popcorn. And then we have some other awesome special effects. Sudden Silence, which allows you to launch an attack at any time, even when it's not your turn. Blow Up the Dam, which stops aquatic stuff. And They Slept Through It, where you can knock out a character and prevent them from being targeted as the victim. Because, of course, they slept through it. And then we have But I'm Staying and But I Do Love You, which allows you to stop an attack if you have a female character, as well as use one of your opponent's characters to basically defend against their own attack. And then we have the plantation that's full of water. Well, the dam burst and the entire plantation is drifting off downstream, so I guess it's over. All right. What are we down to? There we go. We are now down to Inca's Incognito with the Rugged Adventurer. We also have the Chaste Woman and the Civilized Savage. Oh, how droll, sir, and to think I wasted my time studying this at university. The three creatures are the Sniper for Hire, who can duel, the Crooked Trader, and the local government officials. We have the Incan Sunburst and the Fine Leather Jacket. And we have a local airfield and Machu Picchu. It gives big bonuses to natives. And we have our three special effects: Shaft of Light, Just a Touch of Exotica, and They Speak the Language. Once again, you've seen her again a couple times. And our two plot twists: Curse Your Inevitable Betrayal, and They Fell by Their Own Hand. Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions. And our roll the credits: well, they got the Sacred Gold Dingus back to the natives, so I guess it's over. Square those guys up. We're down in the last neck here. We got 3 more feature packs to go. I mean, together this would make an awesome deck too. But now we have to go into the jungle with a whole bunch of commandos. So we have Commando Man. Get behind me now! The native commando and the army general. Now in this one too, we have 3 props instead of 3 creatures, because we have the jungle that came alive and the alien hunter. We have dog tags, which is one of my favorites because it allows you to bank a character that got killed. And we have retractable claws, which you can reuse. And the minigun, which is just so much fun. You can discard and add 10 defense by shouting, "Ah!" The military helicopter and the guerrilla camp. This is actually a flying vehicle, which has some neat camp mechanics. And we have our 3 special effects. Get that lint off. We have the manly test of strength, predator vision, and out of ammo, which is a fun way to get rid of somebody else's prop. Or weapon, I should say. Get to the chopper! And he made a last stand. And apparently they did get the chopper, so I guess it's over. Now we come down to the last two. We have the Most Dangerous Board Game. And these were out of order. There we go. Now we're back in order. We have The Wild Man, The Rich Parents, and The Orphans. Because eventually, you have the rich parents who die to make the orphans, and they eventually become the wild man. You can't really see it, but Dad has a knife over there, too. You also have, because there's going to be orphans, you have to have a pack of bullies. There are also mosquitoes like Harrier Jets, and Colonel Monocle, who was in the original game, he was a character, but we made him a neat creature who's like a trap card. You can fake him out and play him like a plot twist. And then we have Reclaimed by the Jungle and The Parent's Grave. This is all about, this pack is all about dealing with multiple family cards being played at once. The Cursed Board Game. What could possibly go wrong? The game. And we have a high-powered rifle. And then we have 3 interesting special effects. Of course, we have Cat in the Closet, which is a reprint, but it's skinned. Ape in the Cupboard. So we're thinking about making a chunk of like reprints of common cards, but they're flavored based upon different movies. So we'll see about that. And then we have Meanwhile in the Past, and we have Many Years Later, which mess with young and old characters in sequence. And then we're down to these guys here. And it ate the car! And wait, you heard it too? This one's fun because you can double an effect. And then, well, it all got sucked back into the board game, so I guess it's over. And this brings us to our final feature pack in this set. I mean, look at how many cards there are. This is ridiculous. We have White Bread Zombie. So in this one, we've got 3 characters. We've got the Imminent Groom, who gets bonuses if there's a bride, which we have in another feature pack. There's the White Witch Doctor. I didn't appropriate anything. I tortured those secrets out of him. Who can create zombies. Zombie is a new character trait that basically allows you to bring characters back. They're dumb, supernatural, and can't use abilities, popcorn or props, but their traits are intact. And yeah, it's basically just extra defense that you can mess around with, and their traits work for different things. And of course, when you have these sorts of folk messing about, you have island villagers. Ça pas bon, trust me on that one. Next, we have our creatures. We have the Haitian voodoo zombies. We have zombie slaves. And we have the evil voodoo master. It's all dependent upon how many zombies there are in play. We have the voodoo doll, which is another one from the original game. Ow, ow, ow. And we have the zombie draft, which can turn somebody into a zombie. We have the crossroads, which can permanently kill undead and supernatural creatures. And we have the hazardous sugar mill, which also turns out zombies. We have our 3 special effects, the voodoo ritual, the zombie grip, and the tragic backstory. No, Skippy, don't die. And now we're down to our last 2 plot twists. And they were rendered powerless, but they came shambling out of the graveyard, which is more fun with zombie things. And if you remember the end of White Zombie, well, it's downhill from here, folks, so I guess it's over. And that's the final roll, the credits. So that's all. That's 160 cards in this, which is a lot of movies that you can make fun of. All these adventure movies. And I hope you guys found that fun. So this is yet another one of our director's cuts that went from the original game that was originally published in the early 2000s to a new version that follows the new rules. And I hope you guys are going to love it. Until next time, keep watching the skies.